Yo, and welcome to the Walking Dead Spoilercast for episode 6 called The King, the Widow, and Rick. That's a very poppin' ass title. But in any case, it's a few things that happened on this episode. Yeah, I'm gonna get right into it. And one of the things is that we find that Jesus is still on his warpath to save people, which is kind of ironic. I think that's why they kind of did it. No, but I think it just kind of worked itself out in that type of sense that Jesus is trying to save people. I mean, no matter how wicked they are, he's still on his crusade to make sure that they don't kill, the saviors that they've captured or whatever. Which I've already said my stance on. I just, if that was me, I would just, we can't do this. We can't keep them around. We have families that's in this community. If they end up escaping or finding a way out or whatever, then we're all dead, or worse, or they might end up taking over and capture us, get in touch with Negan and them, and or other outposts, and then we're captured. So we're the slaves, we're the captorees or whatever. So I think that's kind of like more of where I'm leading to. And and the thing is like they keep Gregory around. Gregory is just one of those people that's like, damn, why are you even here? I wouldn't even let him back up in the place. Like, he's already lost his place with, like, them being, like, with him trying to, like, go behind their back and exile people that not gonna go with Negan and all that stuff. So he's kind of, like, bumped himself out of, like, the head guy. And so he's already messed things up for himself. But it's like, I have a different mentality. I guess you could say it may be different if I was put in that position. But when it comes down to it, I don't know why they keep him around. Or, why they even let him back in. But in any case, so we end up finding out in this episode that, he has to talk with Maggie. And basically his talk was the sheep and, wolf in sheep clothing. And, they having a little talk. And so when it comes down to it, Maggie makes a decision after like their talking about, wolf in sheep clothing, that she looks at him as being the wolf in sheep clothing. And so she has him thrown up in the cage along with them. And so we got this one guy who is part of the Saviors group, who is basically who's all Negan. I mean, all of them are, but he's the one who is trying to get the hell out. Like, he just don't care. He's a rebel without a cause. Like, he's not trying to be friends with them. He just in for the cause for Negan. That's it. Any chance that he get, he's going to try and take it to where he can kill somebody or, just escape or whatever the hell. He's going to take it. And that's one person that, man, I wouldn't even, head lift. But when you think about it in the overall scope of things, of like, I'm kind of looking at it in Rick's like eyes, with him and Daryl in the in like the past episodes, how him and Daryl got into it, and him saying that like, no, we don't want to do, we don't want to go at the saviors this way. We don't want to go at the sanctuary this way, because if we go at them this way, then we're more than likely going to make enemies with people who aren't really straight enemies of us. They're just people that's just trying to live, that's trying to be safe, they're trying to protect their family, and they just so happen to be in the sanctuary with Negan. They might not necessarily want to be there, but they're there. They're trying to survive. So, and I'm kind of looking at it in that way of, you don't want to do anything drastic, because one person might have a mind frame of like, all these people is nice or whatever, And they might end up changing their mind. But if you sitting around popping everybody, they're gonna be looking like, oh, they're just like us, so we do have to kill them. So you're still gonna have an enemy, and I think that's more of like what it is with the saviors that they captured, is that they're kind of what can I say? Like, they're basically, there's a chance of redemption that they could have at the end of all this. But I don't think that's what they have on their mind. I mean, Jesus might have it on his mind, but when it comes down to it, I don't think they have redemption on his mind. Like Maggie said, she's using them as bargaining chips. There's nothing more than that. But if that don't work, she's killing them all. She said they cannot live. And I agree with that. Using them, okay, yeah. Go ahead and use them. But other than that, like, I mean, what are they there for? They're not, they're not making the community safe. So I don't know, like, this it's kind of like, this is one of the things of The Walking Dead, what it does. It has you think. One of the things that Walking Dead does, besides sometimes kind of bore you with the dialogue and the overextended conversations throughout the episodes when you only see like 1 or 2 walkers. But, they have conversations and have moral stance and questions that have you think, like, if I was in this situation, what would I do? What would I do? And then you get the point of different people's, you get different people's point of view. And when you're looking at things, it's like, okay, they make a valid point, but then that other person have a valid point. So what the hell would I do? And that's one of the things. Is like, if you're in a position, like, what would you do? If you were there, I'm trying to make the decision and stuff. So I just kind of like that whole about the thing. And so we have Rick in this episode, who is going after the Heapsters, and he's still trying to make a deal with them. He's still trying to get them on board. And so he basically goes there in good faith. Nobody else with him, is just him. And he's using that as trying to protect, basically just trying to persuade them to do it. And so he shows them evidence, shows them pictures saying that, like, yo, we done took out the outpost, we done did this, we done did that, blah, blah. And they still are not biting. So it's like, what more can you do? They're not sitting there wanting to be a part of what you're doing, but, what can you do? So they reject him and throw him away in a container. And so it's like, damn, I don't know, like, Rick, he's a methodical person. He's very methodical. So this is one of them times where they've made a good leader out of this character. So even if, like, say I was in this position, I would trust Rick. I would trust Rick 100% because he's methodical. Like, he sees certain stuff. Like, he's like, yo, we gonna work it this way. We got to do it the long way. We got to do it the long, hard way in order to get the best result. And so it's like, when you think of Rick just going through this episode, it's like, damn, he has a plan. He has a plan because he's not about to just go there by himself without a damn plan. He knows that somehow it's going to end up in his favor. So he's going there on good faith. So, they reject him, they throw him away, lock him away in a container. Next, we have Carl, who is on a mission to find the guy in the first episode, I believe, in which he went to go get some gas, and then the guy come in asking for food and help and all that stuff, and then Rick scares him away. So he goes out looking for the guy, and he ends up finding him and talking with him, and so he goes to basically recruit him. And so he basically shows him, like, good faith and all that stuff. He basically goes along just like his father. And basically, he has a talk with him, and then he does the 3 questions of the basically recruiting process. How many walkers have you killed? How many people have you killed? And why? And so he does that whole thing, and they get into a conflict where they're going head to head with walkers, and they almost kind of like don't make it out of there. You see the guy, he barely knows how to defend himself off of them walkers. He's not like the community Alexandra, Rick's people that just basically go up to a walker, bam, 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 sword to the head, and or knife to the head, and or shoot straight headshot and all that stuff. So he barely knows how to defend himself, and so you see Carl, he was having a little trouble, and so they ended up overcoming everything, and so he's bringing them back to Alexandria to be a part of the community. I am still kind of skeptical about this guy. I believe that he is part of, the Saviors. I don't know, I don't know where they're going with this, but I don't trust. I solely believe that there is something behind this guy. I believe that he's either if he's not part of the Saviors, that he's just up to no good. That he's playing the role that he's supposed to play in order to get what he wants to get. So I think that's more what it is leading to. I don't know, but that's just my guess. Maybe he could just end up not being that, but I mean, it is what it is. We'll see what happens at the end of it. Michonne, and God damn it, I forgot her name. She's just a sexy one. They end up going on their own to go face some of the Saviors, and they go to an outpost where the Saviors have their guns and stuff, and so they're basically tying a whole bunch of speakers to a car, and what they're doing is trying to lead all the walkers away from the car. Well, not away from the car, but from the sanctuary, so that Negan and his people can get out. And so they got like a whole bunch of big speakers, and they got this like music and all this stuff. And so Michonne and the sexy one, I'm gonna just call her that, the sexy one, I forgot her name. They go in and they, trying to stop it. And so when it comes to that scene, I don't know, like a lot of this seems like a dead-ass machina. Just random, just stuff that, just stuff that happens, and just all of a sudden something saves whoever, whatever, whenever, whatever. And so we have Daryl Ex Machina, who, the one girl, she gets away with the in the truck with the loudspeakers, and she's going basically go towards the sanctuary to lead all the walkers away. And before she can get too far, Daryl comes in with the garbage truck and rams the shit out of her, in which that is the end of her. And so he ends up trying to recruit, or he's basically just trying to recruit Michonne and the rest of them or whatever to help him out with the plan that him and Rick had dispute about. And yeah, Daryl was really, really up to no good. Really, really up to no good. And also we have in this episode King Ezekiel. You see that he isn't in the right place. He's very much not in the right place. State of mind is that he's led people on. I guess that's the right word to use, but not in a negative sense. But he led people to believe that, King Ezekiel, this person that he's came up with, who talks Shakespearean, that he is just this person. He's this living embodiment, and that he has this hope, and he puts faith into people. That he feels that like he can't go on with that facade anymore. He can't go on with that character because he led people to believe that that they would go in and they would come back out unscathed, and he lost all of his people except for like 2 people coming back from that. And so he's broken. He's broken down. He feels like he can't do it. He feels like he can't lead them. That he just can't be this person no more. That he's lost his faith. He's lost faith in himself. So he doesn't have faith for the future. And so right now the future of the kingdom kind of like is in peril a little bit because they're gonna follow him. And I guess they don't really have too much of the soldiers because they basically got like shot down. And so Carol, she tries her best to try and get him on board, to try and talk sense into him. Try and get him to get out of the funk that he's in. That like no matter what he's going through, that he needs to lead these people. That it's not over. And so it's yet to be seen whether or not she got through to him, or if he's gonna get back over. I think he's gonna get back. I feel like it's not gonna be over until the fat lady sings. And so I haven't seen the fat lady sing on this show. So even though they did play opera music, but it's whatever. But it wasn't too much to happen in this episode. It's pretty decent. But yeah, I mean, that's all I really gotta say. Yeah, I think that's about it. Next episode I'm gonna do, which should be up right now, by the time I put this out. So yeah, so with that said, that concludes this episode of the Walking Dead Spoilercast. And go ahead, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, hit the subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, and turn on your notifications. That way you'll be notified of anything that pops up on my channel. If you don't know what the notification button is, it's that little bell. So go ahead, hit that, and you'll be notified. And yeah, like I said, that's it, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.